Hello, it's time for another Bhagavad Gita video, and it's been a while. Today we are working on chapter 5, verses 19 to 22. Those whose minds are focused on seeing the unity will certainly conquer birth and death, even in this lifetime. As Brahma is perfectly united, so shall the united be in Brahma. One who is completely aware of Brahma is in Brahma. He will neither attach to joy when good things happen, nor will he be attached to unhappiness when bad things happen. One whose soul is not clouded by non-essential pleasures will enjoy the bliss of the soul. By uniting to Brahma, you unite to your soul and enjoy unlimited bliss. The senses are certainly the source of pleasures and also of suffering. All of these things shall come, and all things shall pass, son of Kunti. The enlightened never revel in attachment to such things. So what this is talking about, Brahma is the supreme Godhead, the highest form of the divine, right? Beyond the kind of the archetypal gods, the personified gods, and all of that, right? It's the great, all-encompassing God, right? The God that is everything and in everything and includes everything, right? So it's talking about union, right? In the last verses, in the last video, it was talking about being able to break free of being bound to one's own ego to the level where you see this separation, right? So you overcome this separation. What do you achieve? Union, right? You become united in Brahma. And this allows you to conquer birth and death, not in the sense that you won't die, but in the sense that at this point, death has no terror anymore, right? And you are overcoming the nature of your linear self within time. If you're in a state of full awareness of Brahma, then you're in Brahma. You're absolutely a part of Brahma. You're more accurately to say you are aware that you are in Brahma because you're always in Brahma. All of us are always in Brahma. And then it says that you will not be attached to joy when good things happen and attached to sadness when bad things happen. Now, this is a concept that has led to a lot of problems in spiritual thought and in religion, right? Which is this idea that the really spiritual being is somehow this kind of statue or this Mr. Spock, right? That has no joy or sadness, right? That is always just this kind of going in neutral of this being that doesn't care about anything, basically, right? And that's just such a terrible way of understanding this, right? What it means is what you see in the next line, where it says that when your soul is not clouded by non-essential pleasures, when you're not putting in the way of Brahma those other things, your desires, your attachments, your fears, right? And instead you are united. There is no barrier between you and the universe. You are completely a part of the universe instead of being apart from the universe. Then you are able to connect your own soul within the soul, the super soul, which is Brahma, and you have a state of bliss, which is this fundamental inner bliss that is within you. And it doesn't mean that good things won't happen to you or bad things won't happen to you. And it doesn't mean that there aren't things that will create pleasure or create suffering. Just like it says, the senses are the source of pleasure and also of suffering. And these things happen, right? They come and they pass. And one of the great existential problems of the human experience is that they come and they pass. That they happen in the first place, and then that they don't keep happening. That change is a constant reality, right? The I Ching demonstrates that all of time and space is a process of change. All of your being is a process of change. The one thing that is actually constant in the universe is that change exists and that change is happening. This is what the Buddha talks about in the sense of impermanence, right? So this is something that is going on a constant basis, and we try to attach ourselves. And you think, the simplistic way of looking at it is that we try to attach ourselves and cling to the good things, and we don't want them to go away, or we want them to be here when we don't have them, and that we attach ourselves to try, or that we try to push away the bad things. But actually, we are often just as attached to the bad things, right? To things that cause us suffering, that we, for some reason, are unwilling to let go of, because maybe our fear doesn't let us, or maybe because our laziness, you could say, our nature of wanting to not have to change, because change itself is something that reminds us of the impermanence of everything, right? And so we would rather be stuck in a miserable situation than have to do something to change it, right? So a lot of times, as much as we're disgusted by the things that cause us unhappiness, we also cling to them, right? And so all of these things come and they go. And the definition of enlightenment isn't that you don't have these experiences. It isn't that you don't experience happiness or sadness. It's that you don't get attached. You don't cling to them. You experience them really fully when they're there, and then they go, and then they're gone, and then that's it. You don't cling to them. You're able to go beyond them. You're here and now, and not way back when, or maybe someday far ahead, right? And being here and now, you have to really experience what's here and now. So taking on a perspective where you try to act as though you're not affected by things, that's thinking. Some people think that's what spirituality is. That's how spiritual people behave, and so they try to fake that. And this is not the way to go. This is not something that's going to produce a good effect for you. On the contrary, it's a really good way to get spiritually stuck, right? It's a kind of fakery, and you see a whole bunch of fake teachers out there pretending that they are like this, that they're not affected by the things of life, and that they're kind of this disconnected being that is unconnected from the world, which is just the opposite of what you're being told in the Bhagavad Gita. You're being told to unite to everything, to absolutely everything, to be total in everything. And that is the way that you overcome attachment, right? If you are complete in your wholeness, in your own totality, and in the totality of your union to the world, then good things and bad things will come. You'll be a part of them. You'll experience them. You won't reject any of them, the good or the bad, and you won't get lost in any of them. You won't get tied to any of them and try to hold on to them or try to drag them back when they've gone. You have to let go of your own priorities if you want to make room for the divine. So that's it for today's Bhagavad Gita teaching. Check out the rest of this series if you haven't yet. It's the Bhagavad Gita playlist. Check out the other playlists on this channel, and please subscribe. And if you're interested in a teaching system of spiritual practice, please look especially at the Yifa Society playlist and consider applying for the Yifa Society if you want a whole curriculum of spiritual practice and development for self-transformation. And if not, also check out, or either way, check out our newsletter, which you can sign up for. It's free, and you'll get a free PDF copy of my new book, The Path and the Power, which is an interpretation and commentary, much like this is a translation and commentary of the Bhagavad Gita. The Path and the Power is an interpretation and commentary of the Tao Te Ching. And you'll get that for free with the newsletter. The newsletter is sent once or twice a month at most, and it'll contain links to different teachings I've given on social media in the last while, and sometimes original content just for subscribers. So be sure to check that out. Thank you very much.